setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
I'm glad that you've joined me on the WBT, the world of business and taxes. This is Michael Lodge. I wanted to take a little bit of time this morning or afternoon, whenever you're listening to me, and go over the Equifax issue and how it may or may not affect your tax return for 2017. All of us at some point in time has probably had our data transferred some way or another through Equifax in applying for loans or etc. So your data is out there, and this is a data breach, and you need to think about what could happen this next tax season. So we need to be very, very careful on various issues on how Equifax affected all of us. Excuse me. I am recording this from South Carolina, and I have been hit with something out in the yard that is literally affecting my vocal cords and also my breathing ability. So if you hear me sniffing or if you hear me just about ready to sneeze, I apologize in advance, but it's hit me really hard. And I don't know exactly how to get rid of it, but I think I just have to wait it through. But anyway, let's get back to the Equifax and how it may affect your tax return for 2017. The number one is that you have to realize that this 2017 tax season is going to be tough. Following the immense coverage of the Equifax data breach and the exposure of consumer information, the IRS will understandably be keeping a very close eye open for fraudulent returns this year. Make sure your information is filed on time and accurately, but understand that you may still end up waiting longer than usual for your tax return or for your tax refund. The IRS is going to take painstakingly to make sure that you are the real person that should be filing that tax return. We've already heard reports of people filing false tax returns through this Equifax thing. So we need to monitor this very carefully. So just realize that tax season, you may not be getting your tax refunds on time because the IRS is taking their time to really go through the tax returns and make sure that you are who you say you are. And then we need to know the limits of credit freezes. The first steps many individuals took, logically enough, were to put credit freezes into place, set up fraud alerts for credit cards in your name, but this is not sufficient enough for tax season. Have a credit freeze or other monitoring tools in place will not prevent tax-related fraud. In 2016, the IRS, despite beef safeguards, still paid $239 million in suspected refunds. So you may have all of the fraud alerts on your credit and on all of your bank accounts, but filing a fraudulent tax return still may happen. The IRS cannot stop all of them. This is a very tricky business. We need to also review your most recent tax return. If your information has been compromised, the first thing you should start thinking about is filing your tax return early. But before filing, there are some tips you can take. In fact, you can even do it today if you want to. Going over the most recent returns gives you a good framework and estimate as to what you should expect for your 2017 filing. The more prepared that you are, the better position you will be in to spot any discrepancies on your current tax return. Doing this also helps you organize and track what documents you will need come tax time. Remember, what I've always told you is that you need to prepare and document. Okay? Prepare and document. Don't wait until the very last moment. You know, you've got a whole 12 months, you have had a whole 12 months to get yourself ready for that tax day. That means you should have kept all of your receipts. You should have documented everything. You should have had all of your mileage reports documented. You should have had all of your business expenses documented. You've had enough time to do this. So if you haven't done it over the last few months since January, you need to start doing it now. Okay? You need to get it done now. For example, some 1099s may online be available online, but don't forget these important pieces of information. You need to make sure that you've got all of your 1099s. You've got to make sure that you have all your W-2s, all the documentation that you need to prepare your tax return. You should have it. Okay? You need to have it. Okay? So you need to get ready to file early for 2017. Okay? Even if you owe, still file early so that you can at least have until April 15th to pay off any balances that you have. But make sure that you get those tax returns filed early. And then you need to monitor your tax record in real time. The IRS has an online site that allows taxpayers to see details of their tax account, including changes and other information online at any time. But setting yourself up can be an involved process. The IRS requires a large amount of personal information, and the setup process is stringent. So be prepared to invest some time and effort in this process. This is the face of Equifax hacks. May be an idea worth pursuing for this tax year. So if you can go to the IRS at irs.gov and set up your own account and monitor your tax records in real time, it'd be great. Because then you can see all your 1099s, your W-2s, what you filed, everything. Then you need to think about getting a tax PIN or PIN number. While the IRS does offer a service called an Identity Protection PIN or IP-PIN, but taxpayers can obtain a PIN only if you're already been a victim of tax identity theft. Keep in mind that if you do qualify and choose to sign up for a PIN, you must use it every year moving forward in light of the Equifax breach. This may change, so this is something to definitely take to your accountant or CPA or tax preparer and talk to them about. You need to talk to them about that now. So if you feel that you've had identity theft, make sure that you go to the IRS and get a IP-PIN, okay? And your tax practitioner can help you on that. And then we always have to be vigilant, okay? So we can't forget about all the other scams that are out there and trying to keep updated on what those scams are. This year will obviously be dominated by the implications of Equifax scandal. But don't lose track of the other numerous scams that are arising every single day and every single tax season. Remember, the IRS will never start a proceeding with a taxpayer via email or on the phone. This year will be no different. So if you're getting calls from the IRS and if you're getting emails from them, it's not the IRS. They will never do that. They will always send you a letter and then you proceed from there. Okay, so and if you have a question, call your tax practitioner. Or if you want to call our office, you can call our office and we will try to help or walk you through to see whether or not you are being contacted by a scammer. And they're out there. In fact, right now there's a scam that's going on about school education or college education and your IRS tax return. So be vigilant. See what the scandals are out there. The IRS has all the scandals listed on their website. But you have to be vigilant. Always be in mind that somebody is out there wanting to make a buck off of your Social Security and off of your credit information. Okay? So let's be vigilant and let's be proactive in trying to cut down this stuff. But just remember now that this is probably going to be a tough tax season because of the Equifax situation. So don't expect and don't start yelling at your tax practitioners because you're not getting your refund quickly, because the IRS is going to take their time this year and looking at to see whether or not if you are who you say you are. Okay? So that's the tax tip for today. And if you have any questions, just send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com, and I will try to answer it as the best way that I possibly can. I will talk with you soon. Thank you.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
World of Business and Taxes.